Hi, I'm Kayla of The Literary Co. I'm a copywriter and messaging strategist. I believe your words should be more human, your marketing more authentic, and your messaging less strategic and more true to you.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for this conversation. I feel like we need this better understanding of what it actually means to be more authentic and human. And I am so excited to get rid of some of these buzzwords about storytelling and strategy and all the pieces and just talk about who we are when we're doing the work, who our clients get to be. I'm so excited. So let's get into it. So I'm a brand and web designer primarily. Like that's been my world for the last 14 years. But the last maybe 6 months or so, I have believed so much more in the power of words and conviction than I do design, which is hilarious because I have been known as a visual creative studio. And I'm like, no, that is not even what's going to move the needle for you. What's going to move it is the belief, is having the words to say in any room, is knowing who you are and the deeper identity, not just having, the visual frame for it all and then wondering, how do I lead this? How do I embody it? All those pieces. The word.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And I feel like that's like so much of like what's missing right now. Like I feel like when AI first started becoming a thing, it was like, well, copywriters are not going to exist anymore and we're just going to like that's just not going to be a thing and AI is just going to write everything for you and just, put in all your social media captions and it's just going to do everything for you and it's like but people can tell like it's really obvious people can tell it's not very good. It's repetitive. I want to hear from real people. I really want to hear from real people. I want to hear what people actually think. I want the unpolished, not perfect, like I don't know, I'm just throwing this out there. Kind of a vibe. Like I want to see people still kind of like working it out and figuring it out. Like something I've been thinking about a lot, like with how much like the world has changed and like how much marketing has changed is like, it used to be like, don't put your failures out there.
Mhm.
Don't put any of the things out there. Like just be perfect all the time and just be the unassailable expert all the time. And I'm just so bored of that.
Oh, yeah. No, I want to hear what's keeping people up at night. I want to
Yeah.
hear what they thought was true and then learn the hard way. And not just selfishly because I want to know what the hard way was before I get there, but I want to know
Yeah.
what they've been through. I want to know what shaped them.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I love that. It's like storytelling that's like not just a buzzword. Like I think the thing with storytelling that's been kind of frustrating is like it's been such a buzzword in marketing for such a long time to the point where people hear, "Oh, storytelling, blah, boring." And it just sounds kind of boring, but it's like I think we're just finding like new words to explain what we
Yeah.
craved the whole time.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. The last couple months, it seems like the concept of lore is trending.
I've
And
seen that. Yeah.
yeah, like this mythology, the deeper world and something, yeah, otherworldly, something deeper than a story, but it's lore, it's myth, it's shaped cultures, it's shaped gods and humans alike. Like there's this different
Yeah.
feeling to it.
Yeah, I love that word. I love how it kind of like borrows from literature. Like that's a big thing that
Yeah.
I'm really into and I'm really about is like not just like kind of like the psych backed and the conversion backed, but also kind of like borrowing from older forms like that have been around forever. So yeah, this feeling of lore, I'm excited by that too. I think that's so
Mhm.
cool. And the word itself, it makes me think of like, I don't know, like a big chunky fantasy novel or something. And
Yeah.
it's like, what's the
Oh yeah.
lore? What's the backstory?
Yeah, it's like an experience all its own, like it's taking you on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the kind of experience I am here for in business, whether I'm the consumer, I'm someone hiring another service provider who's supporting unbridled. I don't care who you are, I'm here for your mythology. Yeah.
Ooh, you're for
Bring
the
me in.
mythology. I like that.
It's been a part of my world too for a bit in other words like archetypes, right? The emotional instinctual
Yeah.
patterns that have shaped storytelling for years. And have their own feeling of lore and myth and whatnot. But even something I've been working out in real time has been, what are the ways to talk about that? What ways are going too deep? Like I hid from that myself. Like, this is part of my messy middle learning in real time, was
Yeah.
watering down the words I used because I thought archetypes sounded too educational, or people didn't want the myth or the depth. They wanted the words that we use every day, like storytelling and the more approachable version. And that was such a huge mistake. I am so glad we have outgrown that, at least in that realm. Definitely outgrowing some other areas too.
Yeah, I feel that so much, like the need to like, oh, no one's going to understand it, or I need to water it down, I need to make it simpler, I need to dilute it a little bit. Yeah, and I feel like I'm the same way. I feel like I'm still learning that in real time because I'm like, I'm still at this level where I'm wanting to incorporate more like literature and story into my work, and I'm like, but what if it's too weird? What if it's too much? Like, what if people are like, okay, leave that at the library, whatever. It's like something I still think about a lot, but um, yeah, I like it when there's nuance. There's
Mm.
more nuance. There's like more to it beyond just like what's on the surface, because we get to a point where we use the same words like over and over again. Um, I really like the idea of kind of like finding your metaphor or like refining your metaphor, in the sense of like, so we tell the same things, we say the same words like over and over again. And then they just kind of like lose their meaning. And it's like you kind of have to go back to the root of like, what did this mean when this like first became meaningful? We have
Yeah.
to go back to that so then we can have like a new meaning, a new interpretation.
Has the literary inspiration been kind of your foundation and original interpretation of meaning? You know, when storytelling has been such a buzz, like that's your home base.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, cuz like I have my 2 degrees in English, and that was like what I always wanted to do. I got into this cuz I really wanted to be a writer. And it's so funny for me because I was like, I'm just going to do this on the side while I do like all my writing. It did not turn out that way, by the way. I feel like I'm at the point where I got to a point in my business where like I kind of like lost a lot of my creativity, and I lost a lot of like what that meant. I felt like I was like so busy with client work and so busy with like what was going on, like so caught up in social media. Like I just felt like I was having a hard time like having original ideas and saying what I really meant. And um I don't know, just kind of like stuck in the status quo. I feel like in the last year or two, it's been not course correcting, but just kind of like coming back to that foundation, like what I really love. It was always stories, it was always books, writing, literature. Um, yeah, it was kind of weird when I first like got started with copywriting, because I remember being like, oh, this is so different, and this is so opposite of like what I went to school for, but like the longer I do this, the more I go, no, they're very very connected. And I think that we need more of that, like not like old school storytelling. Like I think we're headed in like a very new, like different direction. I think that there's like a lot of like new energy out there, but like yeah, sometimes going back to those older forms and remembering what made them meaningful. Yeah.
Oh, where do you think you go when you want to connect back to your own original thinking and not just get swept up in the stream of what everyone else is saying?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's been like trying to go back to my own writing. I've got like all my journals right here. Um yeah, it's going back to my writing, going back to the page and like really thinking about like what's in my mind and what do I have to say. I think what I've been feeling like right now is like I'm doing a lot of clearing. Like I've been clearing a lot of the stuff that's like maybe just been between me and my creativity. Like sometimes I feel like it's just been like getting past all the bullshit, honestly, to get to like, okay, this is what I actually wanted to say. Like I was just posting in my story this morning, like, I've been journaling a lot about this lately. The idea of like, I think that with all the like the scrolling and the social media and like the world right now, like I know I myself like got really, comfortable with like scrolling and consuming and just getting like kind of caught up in like just other people's stuff and what's trendy and what's cool. Like I felt like I couldn't like think or have my own ideas. Um and it's been like trying to sit with things that are uncomfortable, trying to sit with the thoughts that are uncomfortable and like not not just avoiding those things, but really trying to like get to the root of like, okay, what do I actually think? What do I actually want to say? What is meaningful and true to me? Because I think it's very easy to just go and like react to just like what everyone else is saying.
Yeah.
Um, which it's hard not to do because things feel like they're just changing all the time.
Mhm.
And you want to seem like you're like up to date. Um, but yeah, it's been like just getting back to the root of like, what do I actually want to say? What is
Yeah.
what's standing between me and what I want to say? Because there's so
Ooh.
much like there's just
Ooh.
so much like yeah, I didn't realize until I said it out loud, but that's been a big question for me. I feel like there's been a lot in between that. So it's kind of getting back to like, okay, what is that thing,
For me, that thing is me.
Always standing in my own way.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. No, I love how you said that. I was thinking about somewhat recently, yeah, like in coming back to my own original thinking and not just being, it's so easy to get endlessly inspired, right? We're creatives, we're artists, like we move through the world and it affects us.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible not to, but yeah, I found myself getting really in kind of that saving everything I see. Oh, I'll come back to this. I'm inspired by this.
Yep.
I have my own take on this. Um, but yeah, it's so true. Like, how do you clear that path ahead of you so that you can reconnect back to yourself and express something that's actually trying to move through you instead of just reflecting back, what you're seeing in the world. I have my big focus area the last couple months has been just saying the thing and like removing myself from being also like the editor and the curator and also the one who presses publish, so that there's this more distinction of whether it's client work or my own ideating and whatnot, creating and separating, editing it right away and trying to get it out right away, like making those distinct stages so I can actually stay in each one fully and not try to be, as they say, everything to everyone or everything to every part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that so much. Yeah. Like trying to actually like when I've been like journaling or writing lately, and sometimes I like with me lately, I can't tell the difference because it's just been like getting to the
Mm.
root really. And I've just been doing like these like brain dumps lately where I just and I get out a notebook or I go to like my Evernote. I go to my notes app because I'm like, no, Google Docs too final. I spend too much time in there with my clients. So I'm like, I need to go somewhere that's just
Yeah.
totally unpolished and just like it's just my notes app. It's not that deep. I don't have to think about it that much. And I go in there and I just do these like huge brain dumps and I'm like, this might be absolutely nothing. This might turn into absolutely nothing, but at least if I can start getting some of this out, I can start to figure out what I actually think and what I mean and what do I want to say. And yeah, I loved what you said. Just saying it, getting
Yeah.
to what you actually want to say.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not like, so often I feel like that voice is in the back,
Yeah.
and again, whether it's leading my own brand, expressing my own ideas, or walking a client through something, there's this editing voice back there. And I'm sick of her. We got to get rid of her. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and just being like, oh, no one wants to
oh,
read
oh, oh.
that. That's not very good. What is that?
Yeah. Or
Delete that.
what if I just endlessly, I actually took an improv class,
Wow.
yeah, earlier this year that I feel like might have been a catalyst for some of this. I don't really think of myself as a very funny person, or like that's not
Me
something I'm
either.
really trying to be. It was really interesting because the whole the whole 2 days also, it was like a really immersive experience of being 2 days all in with these like 8 other people in kind of a small group. And the focus was saying the thing, just not being afraid, like getting rid of like that social expectation that you have to be perfect, that you have to have a fully formed thought. Like you said, that you don't have to have it all figured out before you actually show up or say something, that it's okay to work through things in real time, in some areas. And it was a very interesting thing to do, because I thought it was about being funny going into it, but it was just about saying whatever comes up, and it's going to mean something and feel something or evoke feelings depending on the context. And it's just going to be funny because you just said something and it related to something earlier. It's not going to be funny because you crafted the perfect joke, you know?
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that's like a new way to see improv. I hadn't thought of it that way before. Yeah, I kind of thought to do improv, you just had to, or take a class, you just had to be like laugh out loud, hilarious. I think that that's like a myth too. A lot like, I'm just thinking about like words and copy and messaging. I think that there is
Mm,
this like, oh my gosh, you need to be like a riot, and you need to be so funny, and it's just like I don't. If you are, that's amazing. That's great, but like I don't think you have to be.
yeah. How do you help your own clients find their own secret sauce or find their own voice? Like when so often the goal is to break the pattern and stop people from scrolling, or be someone interesting at a networking event and like understand what you really do. Like
Oh my gosh.
how do you help them find that?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I remember like one time I was having a discovery call with someone and they're like, "What if you can't help me find it?" And I'm like, "Every person I've worked with has had something. Like, I promise you, you have something." And then, of course, we did. Um, I find that I mean, I do a lot of like one-to-one work, and I'm, sort of expanding into like other ways and other methods like for people to work with me. But I find that like just having that outside perspective is really helpful, which is why like, you know, yeah, people are out there like using their AI, but it's like it's only going to be able to like reflect back to you like what you're saying. It's not necessarily going to be like here's this like whole new like human perspective you never thought of before. I think sometimes, and I even found this like when I was writing my website last year, it's really hard to have that outside perspective on your own business. Like even if you are like a lot of people I work with are like I'm a pretty decent writer. Like I wouldn't say I'm like bad at this in any way. I mean, sometimes people are like I'm hopeless, please help me, but a lot of times people are like, well, I'm like a pretty decent writer, and they're very like capable individuals, but it's just having that outside perspective for to be able to see you, because I find that like people usually bury their like most interesting ideas. I don't know why people do this,
Yeah.
but we tend to like bury our like most interesting, most like industry leading, most like fascinating like conversation, you know, like not starters but like conversations, I guess. People tend to bury them. Like I did within like the last year, I've done like a lot of like audits of people's websites, and I'm just like, why is this way why am I 3 pages into your website and this is like way at the bottom and this is like a footnote? Absolutely not. I find that when people write their copy, they just tend to like not have that outside perspective on it. I think it's like helpful to be able to um like work with someone who can reflect that back to you, who can just kind of see it. I think just like it's become a little bit of an instinct. Like the more people I work with, the more I can just sort of like see that for them. And sometimes people have ideas, like they have like a little, like just like a little bit of a sense. They're like, I have like a little bit of an idea of something, but they're playing it too safe, they're playing it too small, they're maybe afraid to say it, or oh, that's too much, my clients won't get it. um so it's like honestly like some part of it is instinct and working with people and seeing, recognizing that thing in them and like evoking it more.
Yeah, something I never realized when I first got into design and then strategy and identity was that the work of being a creative service provider, whether it's writing, designing, etc., is really about facilitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about helping people feel at home in their own story. helping them understand what the deeper identity is of their work, helping them see that their too muchness is not too much. It's the exact thing they need to own
Yeah.
fully. Yeah. Hmm. It is total instinct too. I really do agree. I've explored over the years, you know, developing my own framework, my own method, really systematizing it, more and more out of a desire to have more impact, support more people. And of course, I do have a framework and a method I work through, but I found that every time I tried to distill it too much and bring it more outside of myself, that's where the dilution really came in
Yeah.
versus honoring the instinct, honoring the intuition.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like the instinct is like, oh, how do you do that? It's like, well, here's my super convenient 5 point
Yeah.
method, and by the end of that method, you're going to have this, this, and this. Like it's all ready for the sales page. It's all perfect. And yeah, I think yeah, some amount of it is like yeah, like working with people, collaborating with them, connecting with them. I think it's asking good questions too,
Yeah.
because sometimes you can like ask questions and they go, oh, wow, okay, I hadn't thought of it that way before. Maybe that unlocks something for me. So sometimes, like, you can ask a question even just a slightly different way and that like inspires a different answer. I find too that like it's so weird for me because I'm a writer but I'm also a verbal processor. Like I love to just sit and just like talk something out.
Mhm.
Sometimes I go, oh, I didn't know I thought that until I kind of verbally brain dump it. I do a lot of voice notes in the car. Like when I'm on drives places, I voice note. I just use my notes app and I note things. So, I find sometimes it's like nice to like like as that applies to like client work specifically, getting on calls with people, asking them questions like when I do my like strategy calls with people, I don't like, I don't have another tab open that I'm like typing in. I
Mhm.
love to just like sit and listen to people talk and just ask them questions and just have it be a conversation and people just, and then they always go, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, please, like,
Yeah.
keep going. Like, you're not done yet.
Oh, I love it. I love it too. Literally, there's so much goodness in a long ramble.
Yep.
Like it's almost like this long warm up to say the thing you've been too afraid to say, or
Yeah.
claim the thing that's already been alive in your work. And you're going to find it along your way. We're just going to ask the right questions and stay with it long enough so you actually say it out loud. And then we're going to make you own it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I think there's just, it's like what I was saying earlier, like what's standing in the way,
Yeah.
like between like what, between you and what you want to say. I think I said it better earlier. But it's just like there's usually like a lot of baggage and there's a lot in front of that thing. I know that's how it's been for me is sometimes there's just so much in front of it. I think that we can get like really caught up when building brands, especially like founder led brands. They're very personal and it's not like building for like, bigger businesses like that's not really specifically about the people. Like when it's you or when it's like a small group or a family or spouses or whatever, like it's so personal and you can get so like, oh, I want to go there and I want to do that, but that's scary and that's uncomfortable and
Mm.
I don't know if I can do it or people are going to think it's too weird or maybe that's taken already. I think that can be a big thing. So it's like getting like there is a lot of baggage around brand building that I think we don't talk about enough
Mm.
in this industry.
It's an interesting way to put it as baggage.
Yeah, yeah, like emotional baggage. Yeah, because I think that does keep people stuck in a lot of ways where it's like I think if it was just as easy as like pressing post, I think that I don't think it would be really hard.
Mm-mm.
Not that there's not strategy. I don't want to say that there's like not strategy or strategy doesn't exist or something because it absolutely does. But I think that sometimes when you're like a founder led business, that like, I mean, a lot of people call it mindset, um,
Yeah.
belief,
Yeah.
mentality. Like it can really stand in the way between like what you actually want to be hero building and what you actually want to say.
Yeah, 100%. That is, again, it's the value of bringing someone else in to help you own that. Like
Yeah.
I too, I'm rebranding Unbridled Form right now, and
Oh wow.
I have hired out every single part of the process,
Oh,
which
that's
is,
amazing.
you know, financially terrifying. Um,
It is an
um,
investment for sure.
yeah, it's an investment, and there's so many reasons I have been unearthing along the way of, oh, I had to do it this way. I had to fully do it this way in this season. Because again, like 14 years into doing this, 4 or 5 under my own business, Unbridled really being at the point where I'm understanding more who I am as the steward of it, what I'm here to say, what Unbridled Form is here to facilitate outside of me. You know, that obviously only comes at a certain point in business,
Yep.
beyond just doing the thing, running your own business in your own shape of it. But I have realized that I had to go through the entire start to finish so I could really understand what it is like to be a client who wants the end product, who wants the website with the great words that feels like a world all its own, that has the photography, and yeah, have that end product in sight, and then realize or know from the start that you had to do the identity first. You had to do the brand voice development and the copy and the brand design and the website and the photo shoots. Um, it really just takes so much. And of course I walk people through that all the time, but it has been such a gift to say yes to bringing other people in on it in my own world.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Yeah, to be able to do that, to not have to like hold all the answers and have to figure it all out
Yeah.
by yourself. Because I
Yeah.
think like even if you do like, copy, messaging, strategy work, design, brands, like all that kind of stuff, like I think it's very easy to get like super stuck on like your own stuff. You can be like, I'm good. I can do this all day for other people. But like when it comes to myself, it's just, sometimes that's just hard and it's that outside perspective. And this is for people who do this. Like we do this every day for other people, but there's just something about building your own thing. I think that's so amazing that you've done that. And I think too, it's like in this era of like, oh, Claude designed my website for me, or, Chat GPT wrote my copy for me. It's like, I think that those really like those human created websites with that deep, like you're saying, identity work and strategy work and messaging, they're just going to stand out so much more. People are just going to be like, holy shit, this is so much better. I think people can kind of feel it. I think usually people know they feel it, but even if they don't, on some level, they're like, you know,
Yeah. I,
skeptical. So I think that it's going to end up being so, so worth it.
yeah. One of the things you've talked about is helping people feel safe to buy and safe to connect,
Yeah.
safe to work with a business. What, in your experience, has been the main things that make people feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a big thing, like I have a freebie called trust triggers, like basically the whole idea being that like building trust from, as many touch points as you can, all the touch points that you can is going to be really important. I know something that I always try to do in my own work is like really looking at urgency. So like instead of like false urgency or like anything that like feels fake or false. I really try to be like, okay, is this like a genuine urgency? Like, is there really a limited number of spots? Does this really need to be, time bound in this way? Like, does this deadline make sense? Does this give people enough time to make like a reasonable decision?
Mm.
Stuff like that I think is really big. I try to be careful with, like timers on pages. Like if it's like, this is just total BS. Like there's no like time limit on this. Like I don't like to bring any of that kind of stuff in. So I think it's really looking at, is the urgency genuine?
Mm.
And can we not just like manufacture it? I think also, again, like being able to have that deep conversation, like being willing to get into the nuance, being okay with people not getting it, sharing your story, like being able to be personal. Like I know, like something like big I was really struggling with last year. And I feel like again, I'm still in that messy middle. I'm still kind of going through it. Is like I was posting a lot about like burning down my business and like trying to figure out like how do I exist in this new paradigm basically. And like the people I did work with and the people I connected with were like, "Oh wow, I'm so glad you're talking about this because this is something I've been thinking about too." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad because I when I shared it, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be telling people this or maybe this is too much." I think it's like you were saying like that thing of like, "Oh, you think you're too much."
Yeah.
You're usually like 99% of the time, no, no, it's not too much.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to share and show the human side. So I think it's just, yeah, balancing like real genuine urgency. Like something I'm always like answering the question of is like, yeah, like why would someone want to invest in this now versus like 6 months from now? Like
Mm.
what is the actual urgency? Like is it genuine? Is it just fake feeling? I think it's definitely things like transparent pricing, um, you know, being able to like make people feel comfortable so they're like, okay, like this price is real and makes sense. And this is really who this person is. Um, yeah, stuff like that, really.
That's a beautiful distinction of where's this urgency coming from.
hmm
Because I love thinking about this. I'm this thought is coming together right now. So we'll see where this goes. But
Yeah.
I love this idea of moving from of not moving with urgency from scarcity, like you said, like are there really only limited spots? Is this a true time constraint? And on the flip side, there's moving from urgency from a place of generosity because so often I get the sense your people are probably coming to you in a similar way. They've been sitting with something for months or a
Yeah.
year, wanting the refresh, planning, wanting the deeper words, the deeper expression of themselves, knowing that there's something deeper that they could own. And it's finally time, right? And they
Yeah.
sometimes need that push, that help to get there. And so helping them see the urgency of maybe like me, where they've been in their own way, is
Yeah.
generous and gets them where they want to be. Whereas, yeah, putting a timer up for no reason and whatnot is a totally different type of urgency than talking with someone and, hey, why is now the right time? What have you been trying in the past? Where has that been getting you? Are you getting what you want? Why are we even having this conversation today? Helps them be their own coach, their own mentor of finding, well, what's the urgency within myself that's coming from a good place? Because I want my work to be more recognized. I want to work with more people. I want to have the impact I know I can have in the world. And that's such more of a beautiful thing than saying, you have 17 minutes to claim this offer.
Yeah. It's so much more human. Yeah. And it's just like, I think if, like you were saying, you kind of use yourself as the example. Like if you really like look inward to yourself, it's like I could kind of like keep going and stay the same, or I can, sort of realize I have something deeper to give and that this isn't taking away from it. It's giving to that and it's like putting me closer to it. Yeah, it's like it's very abundant,
Yeah.
positive kind of thinking.
Yeah. I much prefer to move from that place, both as a human, a business owner, a facilitator, all the things.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, cuz like I don't want to work with people that are like, "Oh my gosh, is this going to save my business?" Like, no, don't do that. If you're in that place, don't do that. Like I was just I don't remember who I was talking to. I was saying something the other day like I want people to feel really good investing with me and it's like if you're just like, "I don't know. I'm not sure." Like I would rather that they didn't because I want people who are going to trust me. I think it makes the whole like relationship better too. They trust you, they're ready to go, they're super excited and like they know that this is moving them in like a beautiful new direction in their life and their business.
Yeah. What do you think is the the way that we sell and we encourage people to take the next step without selling our soul to do so. How have you helped your clients work through that when, say, writing their website copy or helping them define their voice so they have that more confidence and the more belief in what they're doing and aren't just thinking, well, if I talk about what I do, then I'm selling and that's gross and that's icky and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's been this like conversation out there for a long time is like, I don't want to be salesy, don't be salesy, salesy is bad. And I think it's just like what your question I think is kind of getting to is the sense that like people only feel that way when they feel like this like unethical,
Mhm.
uncomfortable, like weirdness. I think if it's genuine, it's really not something that people are feeling that much. And I think too, it's getting out of this sense of like, oh, if I talk about my offer, like that's bad or that's
Yeah.
tacky or that's like, distasteful or something like that. It's like we are businesses. I love it when people kind of equate the fact of like, okay, well, so and so big business is sending you, I mean, 3 emails a day. I know I have things in my inbox I need to unsubscribe to that email
Mhm.
me like 2, 3 times a day. And they're not worried about it. They don't care what I think. I mean, they're just like unapologetically selling their offer. And I mean, I think that there can sometimes feel like there's a fine line between being salesy and being genuine, or that there's like this clear divide, like either I have to be super genuine and I can never talk about my offers and I just need to be super nice to everybody, or like I can be salesy and I can just like push my offer. And it's like it doesn't have to be that way at all. It's like we are businesses and like the work we do, is genuine and does help people. And by sharing it, it's like you're connecting with the right people, they're connecting with you, it's going to be a better experience for them. So,
Mhm.
it is. And I think it also is like it is having those words, like the right words, and the right words in the sense that they're right for you, they're true for you, they resonate like not only personally, but they're also going to resonate like with your people as well, where they're feeling that recognition of like, I see myself in this, I get this, I'm connecting with this. So yeah, the right words are everything.
Mhm. Yeah, no, with that, I was just thinking too that it's probably a lot like dating.
I think
Like,
so, yeah.
right? Like if you're trying to avoid being salesy, I feel like that's like walking around downtown or wherever you are, and you've got your sweatshirt pulled tight around yourself. You don't want to show your cards, and you're not really looking around for opportunities, and you're just kind of walking straight ahead down the street and being like, I could never tell anyone that I'm looking for something or like see an opportunity and say something.
Yeah.
Um, and then who knows, the right person could be walking right next to you, but you've been so held tight and not wanting to be open to things that you didn't see something that could have been very great for both of you. Like
Yeah.
this kind of thing, I feel like when you just know who you are and you're dressed well and you have the words and you have the confidence and you're just walking down the street and someone asks you what you do and can you help me and stuff, you're in a much better place to be like, I absolutely can. I have this opening, this is how it works, this is how I can get you in there and whatnot, and do you want it? Oh great, let's do it. Like that's just such a different approach to versus putting your face on a
Yeah.
billboard and said single, dating, call
Yeah.
me. Or like there's these
Call me.
extremes. The hoodie pulled tight and you're putting your face on a billboard. Like it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have to be these extremes. There's a beautiful in the middle place.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, that is like so genuine. I love the metaphor of dating. I think that's so accurate. Yes, I totally agree.
I feel like we're gonna have to keep talking about this at some point.
Yeah, it's such a funny one. You kind of laugh and you're like, "Oh, that's kind of like it's kind of funny," but it makes complete sense. It's like everything kind of shifts when you have all the right stuff kind of working for you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that so much.
Do you think your people get really wrapped up in seeing their brand as this really intimate expression of themselves, almost like they're putting themselves out there to date really vulnerably, or do they tend to see themselves as a separate entity from their brand? Yeah, what are the people in your world thinking about that?
I think maybe somewhere in the middle. I think it can be vulnerable. I think it's maybe not like always one or the other. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like inherently vulnerable, especially if you're like maybe you're the only person in your business, or you have contractors or a small team. It's like there's definitely, if there wasn't before, like people are more and more the face of their business and or expected to be. And so I think that inherently feels very vulnerable. And I mean, it can depend on our like differing levels of like comfort with visibility. Like
Yeah.
it's getting comfortable and getting used to the fact, okay, like I might have to be visible, I might have to put myself out there, and that is going to feel kind of weird. And like maybe I'm not really here, like I didn't really get into this work to like have to be visible and have people see me. Like I so many of the people I talk to, and I sometimes feel this way too, I'm like, if I could just be like, people could just naturally find me, and I could just like live in a cute little cottage and like be the best kept secret ever, and people just kind of find me and I don't have to market myself, like that would be amazing. But it's like realistically, like no, you have to put yourself out there. And I think that that is hard. I think that, yeah, definitely the people in my world are like, can be, you know softer and a little bit more sensitive. And so the idea of putting yourself out there is like, oh, that's scary. What if I get misunderstood? Or what if no one cares and no one, likes this post, and I just feel like really so ignored? Or maybe I say something that gives me a vulnerability hangover or something. But yeah, I think that there are like, yeah, the founders on the other end that are like, maybe they're more used to it and they're like, okay, I know this is kind of just part of this. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm here to do. Like, I understand. Like, sometimes it kind of like, and I have to try to get myself out of this language a little bit. Sometimes, like, for me, I catch myself being like, okay, I just have to play the game. And it's like, does it have to be a game? Does it have to be like
Mm,
that? Could this be fun? Could this be good? Could this be exciting? Yeah, so I definitely see like a different spectrum. I think it has to do with your level of like comfort with visibility. And that's like an ongoing, I know for me, I know for a lot of my clients, it's like an ongoing sort of thing, is figuring out your relationship to visibility.
yeah. Oh, agreed. Talk about baggage from
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's where it comes out.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree. I I think my clients have found a lot of peace in this balance of the brand, yes, being influenced by them and their work and the way they move through the world, and also at the same time being an entity outside themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, yeah, that we can define. Like, of course, they have their natural voice, and yet I'm sure you navigate this with your people too. That the brand also has its defined voice,
Yeah.
because as the humans, we can wake up a little tired or be, in between meetings or something. We're human. We might be a little more scattered, or we might be a little lower energy. Of course, as the leaders of our brand, we got to really protect that and make sure it's high. But that's more acceptable. Your brand has to be showing up in full consistency, in full strength of its brand voice, whatever that is, in as many experiences as possible. Otherwise, it feels like like you're meeting a totally different character, a totally different brand. So I found that defining your brand outside yourself and who you are as the founder, as the steward of that brand, has been a lot more, yeah, peaceful for my people, instead of them feeling like I am the everything of my brand. No, I'm just the steward of it. I am the face of it, but I'm more its caretaker than it. Like, you're not buying Amy, the product, the service.
Yeah.
You're buying the outcome, and Amy is going to help you get there. As an example, for me again. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I really like that. Yeah, because it's like I think you do have to have some level of separation. Like I think that it does feel very personal and it does feel very real, but at the same time, like you do have to have a little bit of separation. You have to like protect yourself a little bit. And I think too, it's like, remembering like we're people outside the businesses, and there's, parts of ourselves that have like nothing to do with our business really. And
Like,
that's
you
and
have
that's
no
totally
business
okay.
knowing. Yeah, like you have no business knowing when I'm standing in front of my cupboard eating peanut butter. Like,
With
that's
a
between
spoon.
me and God. Yes. So many human parts that are just not going to make it into the business. Yeah.
Yeah. I do that too. Sometimes I'm just like, I want some protein. I don't know. I just want a spoonful of peanut butter.
I tell myself that too.
It's so good. Have you ever like taken peanut butter and put it on like a little piece of chocolate?
Yes.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Like
Almost
it's like a
every
homemade
day.
Reese's.
Almost every day.
It's so
Oh my
good. Like a
god.
dark chocolate too.
Mm.
Dark
Yep. Just
chocolate with a
find
little bit
myself a little
of,
snack here.
I know. I'm like, no, I want one so bad.
Yeah, catch me after this at the cupboard. Oops.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Speaking about cliches, this is something this is something I really wanted to ask you about because you have this beautifully branded business with the literature inspiration, right? And the literary co, but it doesn't feel cliche. Like
Oh, thank you.
it doesn't feel like overdone. Or kitschy or something like that. That is such a beautiful nuance of finding a motif, finding something that's true to you to run with, and then
Yes.
not making it slip into just, yeah, that kitschiness. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's like, yeah, that's a big thing. Cause like, I think people can like, yeah, find their, theme, metaphor, whatever. And yeah, like yeah, I tried really hard, like with my brand to like not make it too like cutesy or like I always call it being like too precious with the language or something
Mm.
like that. Like hooking onto a metaphor and just like being like, everything needs to tie back to that because then you start getting to a point where like your theme, and I think it can be like such a powerful like you know I was going to say positioner, but that's I don't think that's really making sense. But it can be such like a powerful way, like one way to like position your brand and like be very
Mm.
memorable. But yeah, I've seen like a big mistake that I've seen with that is sometimes people can take it like way too far, or like they can have like I don't know, they just kind of say the same word over and over again, and it's like but you're not getting to like the core and the depth and like clearly like you're connecting to and kind of like attracted to this metaphor or this theme in some way, so like we have to get to that deeper expression of like why are you connecting to this, where did your love for this come from, like what does this mean for you, or how is this connecting back to your process. So yeah, that's something I really tried to keep out of my business, and it's gone through a couple iterations um to kind of get there, and that was something that was important to me. And I think too like it's funny, my brand used to be a little bit more like dark academia, and then I was like I feel like I'm starting to see this everywhere, so like I'm going to start going towards like I found myself saying last year I'm like I want my brand to have more levity, like I want it to still have some fun, I don't want it to be so moody it can't have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, love that. I mean, it's all about tension and duality, I feel like, anyways. Like
Yeah.
that's the most beautiful kind of experiences.
I
Many
love how you
things.
put that. Yeah.
Do you navigate that a lot with your clients? Do they ever come in with a theme or something where they say, yeah, I don't know, like say like I mean visually, the business owners and coffee cups is
Oh my God. Yes.
is quite the overdone imagery. But yeah, do they come in wanting something so badly and having to find that balance?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I have clients come in all the time with themes and kind of like guiding metaphors. I actually really love it when people come in with those because they're
Mm,
so, it's so interesting. And I feel like it already like tells me something about them right off the bat. And people usually come in with like some kind of connection to something. And I love kind of digging into what that means for them. Why is that the thing they've chosen? Like, why is this a theme that has stuck with them for so long? Yeah, I love helping people come up with things like branded like taglines and like just like language that ties back to it, but it's not sort of hiding them. Because I think sometimes with themes you can like yeah get too like cutesy and kind of like use it as a way to hide. Um, so yeah, it's all a balance, I think, like tapping into a deeper metaphor, kind of getting past the like sort of obvious expression
yeah.
and thinking about how does this specific person's like life and experience kind of tie into this theme, and then how can we make this something that tie it not like tie it up neatly like it's going to be perfect, but like tie it up in a way where, the client reading the website is making those connections too. And they're
Yeah.
not having to work so hard to be like, wait, what? It's a like it's a nautical theme or it's an astrology theme. How does this tie back to like my
Yeah.
website or my wedding or whatever. So it's like kind of making those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love it though. It's really fun for me. I will like I will go so crazy like looking at the thesaurus. You have to be really careful with that though, because you don't want to end up with words where people are like, what is
Ooh,
this? What is
yeah.
happening?
Yeah, I feel like that is again the balance of not stripping something down too much. Like you end up
Yeah.
at the third grade reading level that everyone says
Oh
to
my
avoid.
god, yeah. It has to be a third grade reading level or else no one's going to read it. Like,
I
okay.
I get the concept.
Yeah.
I I agree with the concept, and yet, yeah, I'm also of the mind that there are times when things can be a little less accessible, a little more higher education words. It depends where your buyer is on their journey or your
Yeah.
audience is on their journey. How familiar are they with your world? Like the way you speak to the highest level hitters in an industry is not going to be at an introductory level. They are going to know right away then that you are not the person for them.
Right. Yeah. I really like subscribe to that idea of like your clients being like, a little bit on a spectrum and
Mm.
sort of like this was something else I was thinking about like big time the other day is like kind of talking to those people at like the upper end of the spectrum, unless your business is like expressly for maybe newer people. Maybe there's a
Hmm.
situation or like a medium somewhere along. But like, if you're like, oh, I want to like, you hear a lot of people say things like, I want to book higher end clients. And it's like, what is higher end people? Like, what is that? What are you talking about? And I think they're just talking about someone who's, yeah, further along in the buying journey, or a little bit more advanced, or, if we're talking about service providers like us, like someone who is, maybe they're further along in business and they're just going to like, like I think of the example of like for me, they don't need to understand why is copywriting important. Like they kind of know that
Yeah.
already. They don't really need me to like sit there and be like, this is why I should like justify my existence. Like they already know
Yeah.
that it's important and that's not what they really need to buy.
Yeah.
But, if you speak to the higher end of the spectrum and you're kind of like talking to those needs and like can be struggles, doesn't have to be like needs and wants and
Hmm.
situations, then like the people on like the newer end, they're kind of aspiring to that and they're like, oh wait, I want to be in that room, I want to be doing that.
Hmm.
And so they're still connecting with it. You're not necessarily like losing out on people. I think people get afraid, oh, if I talk to that person, I'm just gonna like lose out on like 98% of people. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you're not. You're
Yeah.
not.
No, I'm so with you. I had a client last year who she's an elopement photographer and she's an absolute artist and a planner. Like she does so much for her people.
Ooh.
Her website, before we did her brand identity and refreshed the website, it literally had the definition of elopement on the homepage, like
No.
elopement, noun, and here's the definition of it. And we totally talk through like what is your people's level of awareness? Are you wanting to work with people who think they want the big wedding and you want to convince them that they want to elope, or do you want to talk with the people who have been like busting at the seams wanting to elope and like they don't even need permission, they're just looking for the exact right person to guide them through it. Like the way you speak to those two people is totally different. And
Yeah.
I was very glad we removed the noun definition from the homepage.
Yeah, yeah, she doesn't need it. Like
Mm,
her people already know what that is. She
yeah,
doesn't need to convince them like what it is, why they need it. They already know they do. They're looking for
yeah,
the right fit.
yeah. So yeah, that's a beautiful thing to get to when you're refreshing the way people are engaging with what you're doing, is not always feeling like we have to educate people on the what this is and the why you need it and whatnot. I think that's when it starts to feel salesy, probably for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it starts to feel like a commercial and it's like, okay, don't need that,
Yeah,
don't need to see that, I'm not on
yeah,
Google. Yeah, and I think that like urge kind of comes from I think sometimes what can happen is people can kind of use their like, the times when people went I don't get it, or that's too expensive, or can you take things out of my proposal? And they tend to like kind of take those experiences as like too representative to the point
Mm,
where they're kind of like shaping their whole business around like the worst inquiries they've ever gotten. And it's like I can kind of understand like if you're getting this over and over again, maybe there is a pattern of confusion, or you're not convincing them before they filled out the form, or like something is like torpedoing on your discovery call or something like that. Like there's some kind of pattern to address there, but at the same time, like if you just kind of like keep talking to those people, you might actually just end up getting more of them.
yes. Yes. And no, we do not want that.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like we gotta honestly, it's like we gotta get a little bit more aspirational. And I think that can
Mm,
feel scary, or like, oh, I don't know, like can there really be enough of those people, or can we really do
mm.
that? And it's like, yes, we can. We can do it.
There are billions of humans in this world, all on their own paths and
Yeah.
journeys and trajectories. And so, yes, I am sure that there are many people for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Mhm. I have loved hearing your perspective on authenticity and getting rid of the buzzword of storytelling, or at least stripping it back to its roots and what it used to mean before it became so used, and who we are when we're really offering things from a beautiful place instead of feeling like we're always selling, or we're always on, or we're always the face of the business. I feel like so often we need that permission to just offer what we have to offer, be
Yeah.
who we are, be so in alignment with all those things. It feels so much more peaceful, and we need that so much more in business and life and in all the areas.
I
Mm.
agree. Yeah, we need that like human connection, and I think it's like starting to be said a lot, but that is a good thing. I think that that message, even though it feels everywhere to me, I still don't think it's out there enough. I think it's just what my algorithm is serving me. And I honestly think like we're gonna need that a lot more going forward, because like we're like living in this very like artificial world that wants to push us into all this like fakeness, and we can't let it happen.
No, no, we cannot. And I hope people know by now that the Literary Co. is a good place to go to be the antidote to that.
It is, yeah. Come find me.
So, okay, so people
Call
can
me.
tell me. Ooh, good callback. This girl's got to do improv.
Yeah. It does
So,
sound really fun though.
yeah, 10 out of 10 recommend. So people can find you at, of course, theliterary.co. What are the new things that are coming up for you this year? The new ways you're going to be working with folks, the things they can be a part of.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I actually have a lot of exciting things coming up. I'm so
Mm.
excited. Um, yeah, so coming up, I have website copy compendium, which is my website copywriting like template and Notion dashboard. I think it's really great for the person who like is writing their own copy and they need a little bit of structure and support, and being able to figure out like what goes where, what do I need to say. And it's so cool because it's like a system too. The way I've designed it is like, so there's like a whole Notion dashboard with like all of these resources. It really like guides you through step by step. And then you've got the copy template where you can go through in Google Docs and really be able to be like, okay, I don't have to like figure out the structure, sit here and like reinvent the wheel of like, how is this supposed to be? Like, I can sit here and write and just figure out what I need to say. So that is coming up here soon, and I'm really excited about that. And then I do also have something coming up in the summer. I'm looking to move into more like advisory and support and feedback. So like for the people that are like writing a lot of copy in their business and they want someone in their corner. So it's like not me writing it so much as me like supporting and facilitating them writing it and giving them like the the feedback and the commentary, like making it better, making it shine, and really making it something they feel really confident about. It's really like empowering people to get their writing and their words out there. And then I'm playing around with a few other ideas too. I'm working on a course group program thing that's like
Mm.
too early to like kind of say anything about yet because I'm still sort of like developing it. And then I literally I woke up at 2 a.m. the other night and I had like this like what I thought was a genius idea for a retreat. And now I'm like, I need to put the vibes out in the universe and see if anyone else is feeling this too. Because
Yeah.
I got to such a point where I was like literally like looking at Airbnbs and going like, this would be so fun. I should do this. Um,
Well,
so
I'm
we'll
on the edge
see.
of my seat. So when are you
Yeah.
going to start pulling people? How are you going to put that out there?
I think I'm just gonna like put an interest list out and just kind of put a few details. This is what I was thinking. This is what I have in
Mhm.
mind. This is kind of when ish I think it could be, and then
Mm.
just kind of seeing like, do I have any takers? Do I have anyone that's kind of
Yeah.
interested in it? And if the interest is there, I'll do it. If there's not, it might be something I put on the shelf and come back to another time.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is like definitely a year for me, kind of like putting some of my different ideas out there. Um, and yeah, because I love the one-to-one work. I'm definitely like booking those one-to-one projects. I am like actively seeking those, but I'm also like actively diversifying my business too, and like
Yeah.
finding some other ways for people to engage.
Heck yeah. Yeah. No, it's such a generous thing to do too. Not only smart for your business, but again, people are on all these different journeys of what kind of support they're needing, especially the ongoing.
Yeah.
We all just want to know we're doing the right thing, that we're
Yeah.
taking the right next step, that we're not messing up what we invested in. And so that's so wonderful. Heck yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you this morning. I love being part of your world, and I'm really glad we got to have this convo today.
Yeah, me too. This is so wonderful.
The Stories That Form Us is a production of Unbridled Form, a brand strategy and design studio for founders whose work carries more depth of purpose than their industry has language for yet. If you're ready to stop describing what you do and start claiming what drives it, the Unbridled Collective is open, live, and ongoing. Join now and lock in your founder's rate forever. You can find the link in the show notes. I'll see you next time.